everyone, I'm Holly and I am the maker and doer of all the things here at Missouri River Soap. Welcome to my channel. I'm making a coffee soap today. I have brewed some espresso within the lye solution. That's how I like to make it. I have strained that out and it is ready to use. I have my oils here. They are a combo of olive, coconut, castor, shea butter, and kokum butter. It's my standard recipe. I have my fragrance, which is very dark. It is just a coffee latte fragrance. It smells amazing. Just smells like coffee beans and vanilla and just kind of that scent that wafts out when you go to the coffee shop. I have some coconut milk here. I'm going to make this one vegan. And a little titanium dioxide. So let's get started. Let's make this soap. So I'm a little bit nervous. I just made a batch and it's back here and it did not go well. So the fragrance riced on me. It has the greatest reviews. The company has tested it themselves. That says no acceleration, no issues with it. It has reviews. It says it soaps like a dream. For me, the minute that went in there, it riced. And so I'm a little bit nervous. After 17 years, it's totally normal to still be nervous about making soap. But I've also made a couple of lavender batches and they went great. So, okay, let's do it. Also, my stick blender shaft has broken, and so this is going to be the final batch for this long shaft, and I can't get this stick blender anymore, so that's a real bummer. I'm going to go ahead and blend my oils together. They're a little cloudy, but they're still in the range that I want to work with, so I just want to make sure there's no pieces at all. And then we're going to put in this coconut milk, and I have reduced it a little bit today because I used a little bit more water in my titanium dioxide than I planned, and so to make up for that I decided to pull it from the coconut milk. So the lye solution is a little gnarly looking. I have strained this like 10 times. I need to get some cheesecloth. That's probably where I should have gone with this one. The espresso is fine, so ground. The espresso is ground so fine that it just slips through my finest sieves. So I'm going to let it go in just because I love the little speckles and it's not the thick pieces of coffee that sometimes can be scratchy. So in it goes. Let me think what I'm going to do here. I just want to be ready. So in with this coffee lye solution. And it's going to smell a bit funky. That's just the deal with the lye solution and the oils and the coffee, but it fades away and gets to be a delightful thing. I do love a coffee soap. And bring in my big boy spatula. Soaps like these can be really great as like a after gardening soap. You know, if you get some fat on your skin from cooking, whether it be butter or, you know, some meat fat, having a little bit of a scrubby can often help you get that off. Alright, this is looking really nice. It's not at a trace yet, but it's getting thick and emulsified, and the specks in there are just like perfection. They're very similar to like a vanilla bean, you know, seed. They're very tiny. All right, so what I want to do is just gently add in the fragrance. And please, please, please don't rice. I don't want you to rice. Oh, it smells amazing. If you've gotten my coffee latte scent, it is the same. In the wax melts, this is the same. Now, because there is a vanillin in the fragrance, and yes, I say vanillin, you can check it out how to say vanillin in the United States, and it is going to cause this soap to darken. So this beautiful color right now is not what it's going to be long term. It's at almost at a light trace. It's just not quite holding it. I don't want to over blend it because I don't want it to move too quickly. Ah yes, this is thickening up quite quickly. Hopefully I can do what I want to do. Alright, so I'm going to pour in quite a bit. Let's see, it's about half-ish. Oh, it just smells so good I almost can't deal with it. I'm going to add in some titanium dioxide to this base. Hold on tight. Alright, I didn't put in a whole lot, but it did lighten it up quite a bit. I am going to use a pitcher to help me pour it in, because I want it to go in a little bit a thinner pour than what I would get from this. Okay, I have to keep moving here. Oh, beautiful. So my thought here is, it's not exactly, but kind of like how I make my Worthy soap on the top. A lot of people have commented that that would, maybe not a lot of people, but somebody did comment, said that it would just be amazing as a, that design kind of is in a coffee soap. And so that's what I thought I would do. I'm going to just kind of ombre it, but not ombre it, if that makes sense. We're gonna keep lightening just a little bit. I'm gonna add in a smidgen more, bring it up a bit. I'm only adding in, I don't know, a little over a teaspoon of my mixture, I'd say. Alright, so we're going to again add it in. It's kind of like those cooking shows, and they're like, we're just gonna add a tablespoon of butter, and I'm like, you put in like a quarter cup. That's probably what just happened to me right now, but it didn't look like much. I've mixed up enough titanium dioxide to be all right in half of the batch, and that's even at a low rate, so I'm feeling good about it. I'm not going to use it all by any means. Looks like maybe a half of what I've mixed up. And this is still going to darken. Don't forget that. We're just trying to creamify it a little bit. Alright, let's see how much is there. I think it'd be easier to add in the last titanium dioxide down in there. This fragrance, oh, thank goodness. I'm so happy it's working. This is wonderful. This is, to me, the coffee fragrance. Oh, love it. Alright, so just a little bit more in here. Let's see if we can pull that up a bit. A little bit wider. I'm going to trap some air bubbles in this one. I have to hold on. He's giving up here. Oh yes, look at that. Isn't that pretty? Come on, buddy. Alright, let's just roll with that. I can still use my shorter shaft, but these big batches are going to be a sitch until I find a replacement. I have a lot of titanium dioxide left in my cup, so I'm so pleased that I haven't needed to use a whole lot. I don't want crackles, but if I get crackles, it's going to be okay in this batch, I do believe. It's going to look cool. Alright. Well, last bit here. And can we just look how beautiful that is? Do you see the speckles? Just, oh my goodness, I love it. Oh, it's getting mighty thick down in there. This is perfect. What a great design this is gonna make. I love it. I love it. I'm gonna fix myself a coffee. Alright, I thought about putting some coffee beans on the top. How fun would that be? The problem is that I don't love making the marks and standing here for an hour placing them perfectly. So I decided that we could have a coffee soap without, and that's a-okay. They're just going to need to come off before use anyway. But you don't want whole coffee beans trying to go down your drain or anything like that. Oh my goodness, this is just beyond. These speckles are gorgeous. I'm such a sucker for like vanilla bean ice cream, and my husband was eating some vanilla bean yogurt the other day and I was like, it's gorgeous. Gorgeous. So I'm thinking about, should I sprinkle on some coffee, ground coffee? I mean, I love how this looks. If it gets a little ash, those will be hidden away. It would cause me some problems cutting, but I could turn the bars, the loaves, over on their side so it wouldn't drag as much. So I have until I finish this top to make the decision. I wish I could hear what you were saying, because I know you'd be so helpful. I'm just gonna have to go on my own on this one, aren't I? Oh my goodness gracious. Oh my goodness gracious. Why? You're so pretty. So this is the espresso that I used. It's skull crushing espresso from FDC Coffee. I would have loved to use my precious Copper Mountain, but I don't have any, and you have to order that in, and I'm too spontaneous for that funny business. Ooh. Good. You are. It is almost 7 o'clock, but I'm having coffee. I'm doing it. All right. Actually, coffee doesn't affect me in sleeping. My husband, it doesn't either. I guess we're just like hardcore coffee drinkers at this point, because we can drink coffee up until about 9 o'clock, go to bed around 11, and we still sleep very well. Oh, beautiful. This is beyond. Don't want to spray this with alcohol because of the coffee on the top. So fingers crossed that it doesn't actually get a lot of ash on it. Oh, heaven. This is just heaven. I hope there's coffee in heaven because it's my precious. Alright, look at that. Isn't it beautiful? It's so pretty. I love it so much. Okay, so I am going to cover this. I'm going to cross my fingers. I'm going to cross everything that it doesn't develop a bunch of ash. And so I will be back to cut it in a couple of days. I'll see you then. Alright, so it is time to cut the coffee soap. It is looking very, very good. It has darkened quite a bit. Now I did not spray with alcohol and I just have the lightest bit of ash on it, which actually looks pretty good. Now I have found that people really enjoy the unmolding portion, so I'm just going to try to show that more often, but it is a little crinkly. And my paper does not fit exact in my mold, but so it does leak just a smidgen. I don't really have too much issue with my mold, but it does get on the paper. Ooh, that's very nice. Very nice indeed. Oh, pretty. I do love the speckles from the coffee. It's so pretty. Alright, so this is looking really pretty so far. I am going to get the splitter. So I have my splitter here, and it's from Smith Creek Studio. And to my knowledge, it is no longer available. I don't really know of any similar splitters. I'm sure a simple search on the old Etsy or something might find you something similar. I'm going to take a little bit off the edge. I use these as samples and testers. Now, keep in mind, the inside of this soap has not discolored yet. So, look. Isn't that fun? I always love that line. It is so pretty. Let's see right there. So pretty. I can't get over how good this smells. It is just so creamy, so coffee-y. Oh yeah. It's nice. It's so nice. Look at it. It's so pretty. Again, it's going to discolor, and it'll be fun to see how it discolors. We put in the titanium dioxide so that it'll have layers of darkness. You know, but we've got to wait and see. As you can see, this top layer, well, I'll show you here on this low. So here's our base, and you can see how it's darkening quite a bit already. But then you can see this is our lightest color, and it has also darkened. So this is going to be a pretty dark soap overall. But it will have different layers of darkness, and that's just what vanillin in soap does. When it's in a fragrance and you use that fragrance, it's going to darken soap. A lot of times people don't use these type of fragrances in soap because brown soap isn't overall that much fun. But I do love a dark coffee soap. That's really nice. The speckles are really, really good. I was considering adding some vanilla powder, and I don't remember if I said that in the making or not. But I decided that the espresso powder was just enough still that I think it has plenty of speckles. Now what I'm doing is I'm just cutting little sample bars, and then I will use some and I'll send some out as samples in orders, etc. I know a lot of people sell their end pieces, but I really like sending them out with orders. Every now and again I throw out a sampler, but for the most part I don't like to cut my loaves down into those smaller pieces just in case they're not overly popular. They're kind of hit and miss for me. Sometimes I'll do really well with a sampler type, and then other times not so much. So I tend to just stay with the full-size bars. I just cannot get over how amazing this smells. So I have my cutter now from Bud's Wood Shop on Etsy. I'm not even sure it's Wood Shop anymore, but it's Bud Hafner. Oh, that's beautiful. That's really pretty. That's going to be a great design. Oh yes, indeed. Indeed. These bars are going to be fabulous. Fabulous, fabulous. Oh, I'll show you the top. They're so lovely. I'm not going to want to clean off the top of these bars a whole lot because they have the coffee, so I do need to make sure that I clean my wires. Except for the dark top, it kind of reminds me of tiramisu. So good. Now I would normally just cut one loaf and stop and take pictures, but these loaves have to discolor, and the only way they're going to discolor is by letting them set for quite some time. So we'll do a different type of picture for this coffee soap. Everything's looking really, really good. I can get some glycerin rivers when using titanium dioxide, so that's what I'm always looking for. Plus, let's see, I didn't put any honey in this batch, I guess. I was going to say, sometimes the honey will heat up a batch, but I did not put the honey in this time. Keep it vegan. I did use coconut milk in this batch, didn't I? I'm going to have to go look at my notes. I had to double check because a lot of times on my coffee soaps I use honey and some, you know, cream and such. So this one is going to be a vegan batch. Which I like my soaps to be available to many. But there are some of us that do love the milks in soap. We like honey in soap. We like tallow soaps. But I also just love having just a plain old batch of soap that just anybody can use. Just taking it in. Taking it in. So before I started filming, I decided it would be fun if I did a little sniff test with some frankincense and such. And apparently I didn't get the lid on very well, because when I went to put it back and I did tilt it a little bit, it sloshed on me. So it's very frankincense-y over here, but this soap is overpowering it at the moment, which I find quite a happy thing. I do love frankincense, but I don't necessarily want to smell like it all the time and at that strength. Alright, so here we have the final bars of the coffee latte soap. I remembered I was also considering calling this one Jitterbug, so we'll see what I end up calling it overall. But this turned out great. I'm so happy, and I'm going to line it up on a tray where it is going to cure for 4 to 6 weeks. At some point I'll probably pull it off. I'll plane and bevel the bars, but I won't wrap it until we're closer to release time, because cold processed soap needs to have time to evaporate the excess moisture, and it's going to develop a crystalline structure, which is going just to make it better, longer lasting, more conditioning. Soap is meant to cleanse, but we also want soap to be as gentle as possible while doing it. So that's our process. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope that you enjoyed this coffee soap making video. Be sure to give the video a thumbs up and leave me a comment. I love chatting with you. Be sure to check out our social media links. Follow us over on Instagram and Facebook. I love chatting with you there as well. Thanks again for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.